Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Brothers, there are certain moments in our lives where you and I will feel that life is just too boring, it's not worth living, there's not much to do. Every day is the same as the previous day, and what's today will most likely be like tomorrow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a very beautiful recipe to happiness in the Quran in Surah Al-Nahl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة ولنجزينهم أجرهم بأحسن ما كانوا يعملون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says very beautifully that from my servants of both male and female, those who live a righteous life, those who live a life that is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah takes it upon himself as a promise, as an oath, that he will give you hayatan tayyiba, that he will give you the best life, the life where you feel like you've got something going on. Your life is not boring. There's nothing that you're thinking about. There's nothing that's stressing you out. You're not just moving on with your day and you're thinking about what's next. I'm going to go back home. What's there for me to do? Right? I'm going to go back to the same routine. I'm going to go back to the same stress. I'm going to go back to the same problems. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those who remain with me, those who focus their focal point, their locus point with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will cause for them to live a happy life. Now there's a point for us to speak about with respect to this verse. Some of us might say, well, what does that happiness look like? What kind of blessings will I get if I remain with Allah? And that's where we go so wrong. We go wrong to the point where we think that because I'm with Allah, I need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me that car that I want. I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me that dream home. I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me that relationship that I'm working so hard to achieve, but for some reason it's not going through. I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me that career. I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me this kind of wealth. That's not what you need to focus on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you that when you are with me, I will cause for you to live a happy life. What does that look like? It looks like the following. You feel that you're calm. You feel that you're peaceful. You feel that there's so much going on in your life. There's problems. There's turmoil. There's a ruckus. There's a loud commotion. But somehow you remain so composed and your composure is very toned down. You feel calm. You feel reserved. And you feel very peaceful and not emotional about the circumstances that you are pressured and that you are stressed out about. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you. It's not the blessing of tangible belongings. It's the blessing of feeling yourself, being yourself, and feeling at calm within the storm, within the cyclone that's taking a grasp and a suffocating grapple over your life. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and He will give you a second reward. What is that reward? And I will give them better than what they were upon. You're stressful right now. You're stressed right now. You're heartbroken. You couldn't land the career that you wanted to achieve. You couldn't land the positions or the ambitions that you planned for so long, and you planned them, but they somehow crippled. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and I will replace what you are now in fret about, in fear about, in doom about, in gloominess about, with something better than what you did not achieve in the first place, that has failed you today, that has not gone through today. And then on top of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and I will give you a life in the akhirah. And that is Jannatul Firdaus, the eternal abode of peace and happiness with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brothers and sisters in Islam, if you think about it, you're not actually losing anything when you're with Allah. You're actually getting everything that you want with Allah. And that is why so many of us live our days in fear, in stress. We feel that we can't move on with our days. Everything seems so bland. It's because we are not with Allah Azza wa Jal. We are trying to play the role of God. A'udhu billah. We are trying to prove that we have a better mode of life than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for us. We have a better compendium than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could offer us. But the corpus of this idea, brothers and sisters in Islam, and all alike inshallah, and everyone that's watching this, is the following. You need a lead in your life. And where do you find that lead? It is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as we said, when you're with Allah, what do you get? You don't live a life that's boring. You don't live a life that's filled with stress and anxiety. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows every moment of your life to seem like it's a blessed moment, though you are waiting for that blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal will replace what has failed you now, what did not go through now that you wanted to go through so bad, with something better because of your remainder with Allah Azza wa Jal. And what else? What's the third bonus? Allah will give you the best of the akhirah. Jannatul Firdaus. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So brothers and sisters in Islam, if you think about it, leaving Allah Azza wa Jal will not make you happy. Leaving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not give you any benefit. Blaming Allah will also not cause any goodness to happen, because it is your Lord that knows what is best for you, and it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has destined for what you want it to happen, this moment to fail, because there's something better that Allah is saving for you. So brothers and sisters in Islam, remain composed inshallah, remain happy. Allah has something better for you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow for us to live blessed moments that are always intertwined with Him. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.